Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Today in the W. My name is Stephen Florval. You can call me Flo. It is Tuesday, August 8th. It's a beautiful day outside. I'm broadcasting from the greatest city in the world, New York City. And it is a 5-game slate with a lot of WNBA action today and a lot of money to be made. First, leave a comment, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Also, give me a follow on Twitter at Stephen Florval. There you can find my plays. I give a lot of plays live in action as I'm watching the game and see it happen. This past Sunday, I gave a couple of looks live while the game was going on. We snagged a really nice, healthy plus 400 on the Aces to win the first quarter against the Liberty. Heck, that's all they won in that game and that contest on Sunday. They got smoked. They got trounced. Overall, for your boy, it was a 5-5 day. And shout out to Cheyenne Parker. Miss Parker, you are making us a lot of money with this 2+2 system. I want to thank you so much. If you were tagging along, we also smacked the plus 951 FanDuel parlay boost. So we hit that as well. But first, we have to address the elephant in the room, which is the Chicago Sky. And Courtney Williams was really getting to that mid-range shot. But all in all, it was a great showing by the Chicago Sky. But I'm fading them again. They're going to have to prove it to me one more time. If they do it to me one more time, if they take my money one more time, I will not be touching anything for or against the Sky for the rest of the year.
This is ridiculous. Only a wimp would be hiding under a bed. And I can't be a wimp. I'm the man of the house. Not afraid anymore. I said I'm not afraid anymore. Do you hear me? I'm not afraid anymore.
Wasn't my finest moment because the Chicago Sky are my arch nemesis and they've decided that they're going to steal as much money from me as possible this season on what has been a very profitable season. So, you know me, I had to come back. I wasn't going to back down. Your boy has no back down. So I came back on Sunday. All the data backs up the Wings. They're at home. Surely they're not going to lose back-to-back games to the Chicago Sky, especially with a 4.5 first half spread.
Gotcha, bitch.
They lost back-to-back games with the first half spread minus 4.5. So the Chicago Sky, for the time being, I'm staying away. You're not taking any more of my money. I'll play some player props, but I'm not playing any of your spreads, over-unders, none of that. Let's look tonight at the games we have going on. We have an early tilt in Seattle, a noon tip locally, but it's a 3 o'clock if you're on the East Coast, between the Connecticut Sun and the Seattle Storm. A game where I have 3 plays from, and a game where we've seen on these early starts in the W, the under has tended to hit, but I'm going to stay away because I don't quite trust the Sun defense, especially traveling out west. My first play of the day is I love Ezi Magbegor. I love the player she's transformed to in year 3 here. She's over her point total of 13.5 in 5 of the last 6. I'm taking the 13.5 at minus 115. I'm loving the usage. Over double-digit shots in 5 of her last 6 games, and one of the games she didn't have double-digit shots was because of an Indiana game where she had early foul trouble, racked up 4 fouls, and didn't really get to find her rhythm. But this is a front line with the Connecticut Sun. They leave a lot to be desired. The lane will be wide open, and for everything that Alyssa Thomas does, she's not that rim protector that they previously had in Breonna Jones. So give me Ezi Magbegor's points in this contest. I think she'll have a nice afternoon. Also, give me Alyssa Thomas's assist over 7.5. A team that gives it up a ton, especially when you play in Seattle, the pace of the game tends to heighten, and you get a really fast-paced, quick game where you're going to see this game where perhaps Alyssa Thomas may be knocking on the door with triple-double yet again. I took it. That's one of my long shots on the day, but I'll give that out later in the program. And a lean from this game, which I didn't get to, but I was thinking about. Dewana Bonner over 18.5 points. It's a lean, but if you know anything about this Sun team, they have the opportunity to give it to a Tiffany Hayes, maybe even a Tisha Heidemann. Where last game we saw Dewana Bonner, we were riding her points. She had 11 at the half. Didn't even sniff the 18.5 number in that game. And in this game, she should have 23, 24 points, but I'm afraid once again that we're going to see a game where she doesn't have to get her shot, and this game may be over by the fourth quarter. So I'm staying away. Don't want to have too many plays. But my two main plays for this game, Alyssa Thomas over the 7.5 dimes, Izzy McBagor, 13.5 points to keep the hot trend rolling. Next game of the day, we have the Los Angeles Sparks versus the Indiana Fever. Oof, not exactly the most thrilling game on the docket, but some really sneaky looks on this one. So I'll give you one play and one lean on that one, and that is Jordan Canada and her 5.5 dimes. Now, Canada is really distributing the ball very well. We saw in the two matchups when these two teams met up in LA about 2 weeks ago, it was the Canada and Nneka show. Canada was filling up the box scoring points and assists, and they had nothing for Nneka down low, and it really was opening the lane for Canada to penetrate and find scores or to even create her own shot. I love her 5.5 assists in this game. The number immediately ballooned up to 6.5. I still will take it there, but I like the points slightly more, but I would ride with the dimes. Either way, I don't think you could go wrong. I think you could even look at her 20 points at plus 400 as a sprinkling. My strong lean in this game is Nneka Ogwumike and her 19.5 points, because when Nneka sees that Indiana Fever front line, she gets busy. And Nneka is on a roll right now. So I love Nneka to cover that 19.5 points. I'll probably find a way to throw something on there. I'm not there yet, but it's a very strong lean for me. The last time these two teams played that back-to-back matchup, Nneka went over 25 2 times. Jordan Canada went over 20 points 2 times. If you put two together on DraftKings, you get plus 850. I already have enough long shots for the day, but that was the fourth of my 3 long shots, which I did not play. So, love everything Nneka. Jordan Canada, the dimes today. I really think the Sparks are going to give a really good performance, still without Lexi Brown. We'll go to the nightcap games also as it continues on, and we're looking at the Las Vegas Aces and the Dallas Wings. Now, if we could just take a second and talk about what we saw in Brooklyn this past weekend. An Aces team that was outclassed in a major way for the first time this year. I mean, the only starters out there in the fourth quarter were the guards for the backups for Becky Hammon, because they don't have enough backup guards to play when the game is out of hand. Usually it's with them with an advantage. But we saw the Liberty go crazy from the three-point line, lighting it up. Sabrina Ionescu going right at Kelsey Plum, giving her the business. And an off game for my favorite for MVP this year, A'ja Wilson. I mean, we haven't seen her look that mortal all season long. 9 points on 2 of 14 shooting. Let me tell you why I love A'ja today. First, the 4 plays today. Over 21.5 points, minus 120. And I also wouldn't stop you if you wanted to take her 25 as well. Now, after the game, A'ja had some nice remarks on her Twitter account with some fans and people going back and forth talking about her lack of performance. She took an early blow to the head in the game from Jonquel Jones, saying that perhaps it was a concussion, but she made zero bones about it, saying that the concussion wasn't a factor. She did not have one, and also said she probably will likely never shoot that bad again. I mean, you could just see the tweet for yourself. A'ja Wilson, today is also her birthday, and a big spot against the Dallas Wings that have played this Aces team really tough in 2 of the 3 games that they faced. In that third game last time out in Las Vegas, they were down early, and they got back into the game. They cut it to single digits into the fourth quarter when being down upwards of 15 plus points. So let me get A'ja Wilson on the bounce back spot for a couple reasons. One, she's the league MVP. She's the best player in the league. Whenever I can back A'ja Wilson, a player of her caliber, who's been doubted coming off of a bad game, I'm doing that every time. The birthday narrative. She is coming off of a bad game, but if you look towards her past years, she's never played on her birthday. She's played on the day before. She's played on the day after. The 4 games, last 4 times she's played on the day before and after her birthday. 29 points, 24 points, 26 points, 31. And 2 times in her rookie season, 18 and 18. 1 before, 1 after. So give me A'ja Wilson in this contest. She's over 22 points in 2 of the 3 games versus Dallas. She has a lot to prove. I'm also throwing half a unit on her first basket, remarkably only at plus 220, but for good reason. I think the Aces win the tip, and as they run mostly every game, they're going to get her on a pin down action or throw the ball in the post, and I think she'll be taking the first shots. For plus 220, when I have a strong inkling that she'll be taking the first shot of the game, and she's coming off of a stretch where she shot so poorly, I'm just riding the dog. Give me A'ja Wilson everything in this game. On that front, on the Aces side, I like Kelsey Plum and her 2.5 threes at minus 122, versus a Wings team that gives up the three ball that's been susceptible to two guard scoring. Love Kelsey in the spot. Also on Prize Picks, depending where the number is. Love her rebounds plus assists because I think she can get 4 to 6 assists or get 4 to 5 rebounds. If it's at a 9 number, I love it. It's at 9.5. I'll play, but maybe a little bit lighter. And on that note, I also love Satou Sabli's assist. Really distributing the ball very well. It's at 3.5 at minus 128. If you've been following me on Twitter and if you've been following me on this YouTube channel, we've been cashing in on these Satou Sabli assists, running that high-low action, whether it be with Natasha Howard or Tierra McCowan. The interior for this Aces team is very susceptible to bigs, and we have a strong front line in this Wings team that can really get some points down low in the paint. So give me those assists off of those Sabli assists, and Tierra McCowan's rebounds is my final and fourth play from this game at 8.5. Go look at the track record of the Aces against bigs. Just recently getting smoked on the glass from Jonquel Jones for 11 boards, and Tierra McCowan had her way on the glass against them in a couple contests this year. So the minutes scare me a little bit. She didn't play her usual allotment of minutes last game, but in that game, if you were watching, you saw she took a shot to the chest, a forearm shiver would look like. It appeared she looked fine, but she lost her breath in that one. So that's why you didn't see her getting upwards of 28 to 30 minutes. So I'm riding with those 4 plays one more time. It's the Queen, the MVP, A'ja Wilson, 21.5 points, a sprinkle on her first basket at plus 220. Give me Satou Sabli, 3.5 dimes, as well as Kelsey Plum, 2.5 three-point attempts, 3-pointers made, and give me Tierra McCowan for 9 rebounds in this game. Final 2 games of the night, we have the Lynx and the Chicago Sky, my mortal enemy. I'm not touching any spreads, but what I will touch in this one is Napheesa Collier to get hers in a 20.5 point line. I love that one. I think Napheesa is going to take advantage of this weak interior from the Sky, a Sky team that was lit up by Natasha Howard for 28 points and 24 the next game, and last game out gave up 25 points to Satou Sabli. Napheesa Collier is a much more talented scorer than both of those players, and she can hit it from the mid-range, from the outside. She also has the benefit of having Jess Shepard in, so she has a very good distributor. Besides Lindsay Allen, to get her the ball in the spots that she likes. Love Napheesa Collier's points tonight. A very strong lean I have in this game is Collier Copper over the 19.5 points. And as we'll touch on in our blunt money, in our long shots of the day, those Jess Shepard assists. If you go look at the log, now that she's back in the starting lineup, getting her usual allotment of minutes, I think you could see her smack those 5 assists, but we'll get into that in a moment. Final game of the night, no official play for me. That's the Washington Mystics and the Phoenix Mercury. My leans on this game are Brittany Griner's assist. I think you're going to see the Mystics really double and triple team her as we saw them do a couple weeks back in Washington when these two teams locked forces. And also Brittany Sykes at 16.5. I couldn't talk you off of it if you wanted to play it. I just want to stay away because I just think the way she's going lately, maybe this expanded role of her getting so many shots night in and night out, maybe she's starting to show a little bit of a fatigue factor. So I'm staying away, but my main lean in that game is Brittany Sykes. Couldn't pick a side. I do think that it is going to be a contest where you perhaps could see Tarasi go off for 20 points again, or Brittany Griner light up the stat sheet. Now on to the fun, and that is the long shots of the day. We'll start with the first one, and that involves DraftKings, and it has 6 legs, and it's across 3 games. I'm going with, in the first game, between the Lynx and the Sky, Jess Shepard with 5 dimes with Napheesa Collier's 15 points. Going over to the Mystics and the Mercury, I'm going with Brittany Griner to get 5 assists, 2 rebounds. Nneka in the Sparks and Fever game to get 15 points, and Jordan Cannon to get 16 points plus assists. Now this is an extremely long shot, but it's going off of the read. You get a 38-24, and the big read I have in this contest is the fact that Jess Shepard, she was really distributing that ball early on in the season, especially against this same Sky team where she had, I believe, 7 assists. If they double down, if they crash down, I think she could do an excellent job of distributing off to Napheesa Collier, especially now that they have Diamond Miller as well and Caleb McBride. They have a lot of weapons. I gave back a while ago the Lynx future for wins where it was at 15.5 at the All-Star break because this is a very talented team. In a couple years, I think they're going to be competing once they can get a little bit more experience for their younger players and add some support. The leg that I like in the Mercury is Brittany Griner. Again, those 5 assists. That's projecting that we see the Mystics once again double down every time she touches the ball. She had 4 assists, I want to say, when playing in Washington, and we've seen her hit 5 assists multiple times in recent times. Brittany Griner can find, and she's a very underrated passer. They run a high-low action between her and Brianna Turner, or Michaela Onyenwere. She likes to find her as well. And we went over the Sparks and what they've done against the Fever. I love the fact that Nneka's in a smash spot, so if I dial it back to 15 points, if you take the 16 points plus assists from Jordan Canada, all in all, it's 38-24. We'll see if we can get a little magic from that one. Heck, don't even be too greedy like your boy here. You could take some of these, omit some legs, and just play a nice little builder and make a little cash. Ain't nothing wrong with hitting a single and taking some cash to the bank. Other long shot of the day, I'm going with on FanDuel, the Connecticut Sun to be winning at the half. Jordan Canada, as we've gone over in his program, 15 points. Napheesa Collier to give us a nice little 25-point night, which she easily could do. And AJ Wilson, the birthday girl, throw in 25 points, bounce back performance for the MVP. All in all, those are my looks for today, August 8th. Today in the W. Thank you for tuning in. Please like the video, comment, subscribe to the channel, give me a follow on Twitter. Looking forward to making some cash tonight.